Hello, my dear. You know what? Your aura has people in a frenzy, and the reason it feels dangerous is because it is. Not dangerous in the way you were taught to fear, but dangerous in the way fire is dangerous to rot, in the way pressure is dangerous to weak foundations. This isn't about arrogance. This isn't about you thinking you're special. This is about the uncomfortable truth that your presence does something to people. Before you even open your mouth, you walk into rooms and the temperature shifts. Conversations adjust. Energy reorganizes itself around you. And most people never learned how to be honest about what they feel when they sense someone like you. So instead, they project, they twitch, they compete, they panic quietly, and some of them become reckless. You were never too much. That was just the easiest excuse people could use when they didn't want to admit they felt exposed around you. Because that's what your aura does. It exposes. It doesn't attack. It doesn't chase. It doesn't announce itself. It simply reveals. And insecure people do not survive being revealed. They survive by hiding, by blending, by staying unexamined. So when you enter their proximity, it's not admiration they feel first. It's threat. Not because you're trying to take something from them, but because your existence reminds them of everything they've avoided becoming. This is why the reactions are never clean. If it were simple dislike, it would be obvious. If it were jealousy alone, it would be predictable. But what you trigger is more complex. People oscillate around you. One day they praise you. The next day they undermine you. One moment they copy you. The next moment they dismiss you. They smile too hard. They go quiet at the wrong times. Their eyes don't match their words. And you can feel it, even if you can't always explain it. That internal alarm you've learned to second guess. It wasn't paranoia, it was pattern recognition. Your aura forces people to confront themselves without consent. That's why it feels intense. That's why it feels charged. That's why people who are comfortable being mediocre suddenly become hostile when you're around. You don't have to outperform them. You don't have to challenge them. You don't even have to succeed loudly. Your presence alone reminds them that they settled. And some people would rather destroy the mirror than change what it reflects. This is especially dangerous when those people are close to you. Family, friends, partners. The ones who believe proximity entitles them to comfort. They tell themselves they know you. They tell themselves you're equal. They tell themselves you're not that different. But then they watch how others respond to you. They notice how rooms orbit you. They see how opportunities lean toward you without you forcing them. And slowly, something curdles. They won't say it out loud, but they start needing you to stay small so they can stay sane. That's when the passive aggression begins. The subtle dismissals, the delayed support, the strange absence during your wins, the enthusiasm when you're struggling. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to who lights up when things go wrong for you. Pay attention to who goes quiet when things go right. That contrast is not accidental. It's diagnostic. People in a frenzy don't always look angry. Sometimes they look obsessed. They watch you closely. They study your timing. They memorize your habits. They ask questions that feel harmless, but aren't. They collect information under the disguise of concern. And if you've ever felt like someone knew too much about you without truly knowing you, that's why. Your aura pulled them in, but their intention wasn't connection. It was comparison. Here's the part most people don't like admitting. Intimidation doesn't require superiority. It requires authenticity. People who live fragmented lives cannot tolerate someone who moves as one piece. You don't need to be richer. You don't need to be louder. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be aligned. And alignment is unbearable to people who survive by performing versions of themselves they don't respect. That's why you've tried to dim yourself before. Not because you lacked confidence, but because you felt the friction. You noticed that every time you showed up fully, something went wrong. Someone lashed out. Someone withdrew. Someone tried to compete where there was no competition. So you learned to edit yourself, to soften your voice, to shrink your presence, to over-explain so others wouldn't feel threatened. But all that did was exhaust you and embolden them, because insecure people don't relax when you get smaller. They just get closer. This is where the danger comes in. When people feel intimidated but powerless, they don't retreat. They scheme, they whisper, they distort narratives, they look for allies, they test boundaries quietly before crossing them loudly. And because you don't operate from malice, you often don't see it coming. You assume good intentions. You assume misunderstandings. You assume maturity. Meanwhile, they're rehearsing scenarios where you are the villain and they are justified. That's why some of you have experienced sudden character attacks. Rumors that feel exaggerated. Accusations that don't match your behavior. Situations where you're confused how things escalated so fast. That escalation didn't start when you noticed it. It started when someone decided your light made them uncomfortable, and instead of confronting themselves, they chose to confront you. And the most unsettling part is this: some people don't just want you to fail. They want you erased, not physically in the obvious sense, but socially, emotionally, reputationally. They want your credibility questioned, your confidence shaken, your support system fractured, because as long as you exist as yourself, you are proof that they could have lived differently. And that proof burns. You may have noticed that even when you struggle, it doesn't satisfy them fully. They don't relax when you're down. They study whether you'll recover. They watch to see if your spark goes out completely. Temporary setbacks don't comfort them, because your resilience reminds them that you're still a factor. That's why the resentment feels endless. That's why it feels disproportionate. They aren't reacting to your circumstances. They're reacting to your potential. This is also why separation keeps happening in your life. People fall away. Connections dissolve. Paths diverge without dramatic endings. At first, it felt like loss, like rejection, like punishment. But it wasn't. It was containment. Because not everyone who is drawn to your aura is meant to stay close to it. Some are attracted because they want warmth. Others are attracted because they want control. And the second group becomes volatile when they realize they can't possess what you carry. You don't intimidate people because you're cruel. You intimidate them because you're ungovernable. You don't need permission to exist as you are. You don't collapse without validation. You don't disappear when unsupported. That independence terrifies people who rely on hierarchy and approval to feel real. They need someone above them or beneath them. You exist beside yourself, and that breaks their internal order. So if you've been feeling watched, misunderstood, targeted, or subtly opposed, understand this: it's not random. It's not imagination. It's the response of unexamined people encountering someone who refuses to fracture themselves to belong. Your aura doesn't attack. It doesn't pursue. It doesn't dominate. It simply refuses to apologize. And for certain personalities, that is intolerable. The truth is, you are entering a phase where this intensity will increase, not decrease. Not because you're becoming aggressive, but because you're becoming clearer, and clarity sharpens everything around it. Those who benefit from confusion will resist you harder. Those who relied on you being unsure will grow desperate, and those who were already unstable around you may start revealing themselves in ways that can no longer be ignored. This is where awareness becomes essential. Not fear, awareness. Because intimidation reaches its most dangerous point when you underestimate its effects. When you assume others process you the way you process them. When you believe everyone wants growth, honesty, and mutual respect. They don't. Some people want dominance. Some want validation. Some want someone to blame for their own stagnation. And when they can't control you, they try to destabilize you. But here's what they don't understand yet. Your aura isn't escalating by accident. It's responding to something internal that has already shifted. You are no longer negotiating your presence. You are no longer asking to be understood. You are no longer shrinking preemptively. And that internal decision sends a signal that is already being felt by those who hoped you'd stay manageable. That signal is subtle, almost imperceptible at first. It is the way you carry yourself without waiting for permission. It is the way your energy fills a room without being loud. It is the way your calmness disrupts chaos around you. Those who have relied on predictability, those who have thrived when control was easy, they feel it immediately. It rattles their internal hierarchy. It throws off their calculations. It forces them to reassess everything they believed about power, influence, and status. And this is the moment where many begin to overreact without even realizing why. They sense your shift before they can articulate it. They feel a new authority emerging from you that cannot be measured by titles, money, or appearances. It is raw, undeniable, and threatening to anyone who depends on maintaining a false equilibrium. And this threat is not something you created externally. It is the natural projection of your own alignment, the consequence of an internal evolution they cannot match. What is critical to understand here is that energy, especially the kind you carry, operates like a mirror and a magnet simultaneously. It reflects the hidden insecurities of those around you, while attracting awareness from those who are ready to witness the authentic. People in proximity to your energy cannot hide themselves anymore. Their responses become involuntary, automatic, and revealing. This is why you have seen sudden shifts in relationships. Why people who once smiled at your victories now look away. Why conversations become strained. Why subtle resistance replaces encouragement. These are not random occurrences. These are patterns, signals of a deeper psychological response. People feel exposed around you. They feel measured against an invisible scale you didn't ask to hold, but they are forced to. Their envy, their insecurity, their unacknowledged fears, they all surface in your presence. And while it may appear external, it is a direct reaction to the clarity and authority of your internal state. The danger in this scenario lies not with you, but with their inability to process this disruption. Humans have a threshold for threat, and emotional threat is the most destabilizing. When someone senses that another person is unshakable, luminous, unapologetically themselves, it bypasses rationality. People do not respond with logic to presence. They respond with instinct. And instinct in insecure individuals often manifests as hostility, subtle sabotage, or attempts to diminish. They will comment, question, undermine, compare, and create narratives that cast you as the anomaly that must be neutralized. and these attempts are rarely conscious. Most of the time, the aggression is unconscious, automatic, a defense mechanism of the mind trying to restore equilibrium it perceives as violated. That is why your aura feels dangerous to them, because it is. Dangerous not in intention, but in consequence. Dangerous in the way it unmasks, destabilizes, and challenges the fragile constructions others depend upon to feel secure. Consider for a moment how power dynamics work when the person who is feared or admired does not seek domination. Your power, the way you carry yourself, is not about control. It is about consistency, presence, and authenticity. It is inherently magnetic and disruptive. The people who feel most threatened are not those who are weak. They are those who have invested in a fragile appearance of strength. They are practiced at dominance over others who comply, who defer, who adjust. And then you arrive. And suddenly, the entire framework they relied upon begins to wobble. This is when panic emerges, and it is subtle but palpable. They start calculating. They begin projecting. They whisper. They observe patterns obsessively. They measure your responses, trying to find a weakness, a point of entry, a way to destabilize. And what they often fail to recognize is that the very act of monitoring you reinforces your aura further. The more attention they pay, the more they are drawn into the orbit of your alignment. Their attempts to neutralize you, to contain you, only amplify the visibility of your presence. You have likely noticed over time that the most seemingly innocuous relationships carry the highest potential for disruption. Those who are close, those who have access to intimate knowledge of your life, are the ones who become most reactive. This is not coincidental. Proximity allows the aura to be studied, experienced, and compared. And when people are insecure, when their internal assessment reveals a gap between their self-image and your manifestation, the intensity of their reaction increases. It is subtle at first, a dropped tone, an awkward pause, a hesitation in response. Then it escalates to micro-sabotage, a comment meant to belittle, a story framed to diminish, a withdrawal of support at critical moments. And it culminates in actions that are aggressive, not physically, but strategically. Lies, distortions, manipulations. Every interaction becomes a test, every reaction a measure of how far they can push without being exposed themselves. This is the psychology of intimidation and envy. It is not personal, though it feels that way. It is instinctual. The critical distinction is that their reaction is to you, not from you. You do not create their insecurity. You do not instigate their envy. You exist authentically, and that existence triggers responses in those who are unprepared for unfiltered truth. And the more you resist conforming, the stronger these responses become. That is the paradox. The less you negotiate your presence, the less you shrink, the more potent the reactions around you. And because most people are accustomed to influencing others through superficiality, flattery, or control, encountering someone immune to such tactics creates anxiety, obsession, and a form of uncontrolled fear. It is why their eyes shift. It is why their words falter. It is why they engage in overcompensation, attempting to restore a hierarchy that no longer holds. You are not responsible for these behaviors, but you are responsible for recognizing them, navigating them, and maintaining your alignment. Your aura also functions as a filter, whether you intend it to or not. It attracts individuals who resonate with authenticity and repels those who cannot accommodate it. The challenge arises when those repelled are those whose opinions, proximity, or influence matter to you. This is when lessons about separation, boundary setting, and strategic distancing become necessary. You do not cut people off to punish. You cut people off to protect your trajectory, to preserve the integrity of your energy, to maintain clarity. And those who cannot bear the truth of your presence will always attempt to draw you into conflict. They will test patience, ethics, and restraint. And part of mastery is understanding which battles require engagement and which require observation and measured withdrawal. Another layer to consider is the psychological projection they will impose. People who are intimidated often attempt to map their fears onto you. They will accuse you of arrogance, of cruelty, of manipulation, even when your intent is neutrality or kindness. They do this to externalize their discomfort, to create a narrative where they retain a sense of control. And because these projections are emotionally charged, they can affect your social perception if you are not vigilant. That is why awareness is not optional. Awareness is protection. It allows you to witness the reactions, decode the motives, and respond strategically rather than emotionally. It allows your aura to remain a source of empowerment rather than a point of vulnerability. This level of intensity around you is rarely accidental. It is cumulative. Each time you refused to shrink, each time you held your ground, each time you aligned with your own truth rather than others' expectations, the field of energy around you strengthened. And those who were never able to tolerate unfiltered authenticity are now in positions of observation, evaluation, and reaction. They feel threatened not by what you say or do, but by the mere fact that you continue to exist fully. And because they cannot neutralize your internal alignment, they attempt external destabilization. This is why patterns of passive aggression, gossip, subtle undermining, and manipulation intensify precisely as your clarity and consistency expand. You are a catalyst. They are reactionary. The dynamic is inevitable, but your mastery of it is not. It is essential to understand that power, in this context, is subtle but absolute. Your aura operates on a level that does not require verbal assertion. Influence is established before conversation begins. Authority is recognized before a single request is made. And for those who are sensitive to this, the instinctive response is to attempt to diminish what they cannot understand. They may not articulate it. They may not act overtly at first. But the pattern emerges consistently over time. You will see attempts to redirect conversations, to frame situations unfairly, to undermine credibility, to manipulate perception. And these behaviors are all reactions to your internal shift. They are not indictments of your actions. They are proofs of your presence. Another critical observation is how these dynamics affect group environments. People who sense your intensity often attempt to assemble allies, consciously or unconsciously, to stabilize their own perception of dominance. They observe who is impressionable, who seeks approval, who is susceptible to manipulation, and they attempt to integrate these individuals into their sphere. Your presence disrupts this social architecture. It forces recalibration, it forces honesty, and it forces choice. Those unwilling to be honest may attempt containment through social maneuvering. And this is why distance becomes a necessary tool. Maintaining alignment in proximity to reactive individuals requires boundaries, clear perception, and strategic discretion. This is not withdrawal from power. It is consolidation of energy. Consider the long-term implications. Your consistency, your refusal to shrink, your unapologetic existence, all of these send ripples outward, that are invisible to those who are untrained in perception. Relationships adjust, networks realign, opportunities gravitate. People who once appeared supportive may subtly attempt to divert or disrupt your momentum. Simultaneously, individuals who resonate with your energy, who are ready for alignment, begin to emerge. They recognize authority without confrontation, collaboration without coercion, and resonance without competition. Your aura functions as both a filter and a magnet, simultaneously repelling those unprepared and attracting those in harmony. Understanding this dynamic is crucial to navigating the external chaos while maintaining internal clarity. And here lies the paradox. The very behaviors of those in a frenzy confirm your potency. The attempts at containment, the jealousy, the micro-sabotages, they are markers of influence, proof of the authenticity and intensity you carry. While it may feel destabilizing, it is evidence of effect. Those who can tolerate your presence without reaction are those who resonate with your frequency. Those who cannot tolerate it are inadvertently highlighting the boundaries of your impact. Recognizing this allows you to move with precision, to invest energy wisely, and to escalate presence intentionally rather than reactively. Every attempt to diminish you reinforces the necessity of alignment, clarity, and purpose. Your task is not to correct others' perceptions. That is a fruitless endeavor. Their interpretations are rooted in internal deficiency, not in your misalignment. The moment you take responsibility for others' reactions, you dilute your own authority. You dim your light to appease shadows, and shadows cannot be appeased. You are witnessing the psychology of projection in real time. Recognize it, categorize it, protect yourself from it, and then continue with the expansion that initially triggered the response. The fire that burns within you cannot be extinguished by external unease. It is nourished by authenticity, sharpened by challenge, and validated by resilience. Understanding this internal-external feedback loop allows for mastery, rather than becoming entangled in attempts at appeasement or retaliation. The ultimate evolution of this phase is realization. Realization that intimidation is not weakness, aggression is not your responsibility, and chaos is not necessarily opposition. You are learning that presence itself is sufficient, that influence does not require coercion, that clarity of self is unassailable when maintained. Those in a frenzy will act, will react, will escalate, but your energy is not subject to escalation. You are becoming unmovable. And in recognizing this, you also recognize that relationships, proximity, and social structures are tools, not determinants. They are the environment in which power and presence manifest, not the source of them. This awareness allows you to anticipate patterns without being reactive. You begin to see the early signs of agitation, the micro shifts that indicate underlying instability, the subtle attempts to redirect attention or undermine credibility. You no longer enter these dynamics blindly. You observe, measure, and calibrate. This strategic positioning transforms what might have been chaos into controlled influence. And those who previously sought to destabilize you now serve as markers, as indicators, as instruments by which you can refine discernment, assess alignment, and execute precision in engagement. You are learning to transform perceived threats into informational leverage. At the same time, your aura continues to grow in potency. Presence compounds presence. Clarity compounds clarity. Every action taken in alignment, every refusal to dim, every act of deliberate authenticity amplifies the magnetic and disruptive force of your energy. And this compounding effect is not linear. It accelerates exponentially. Those in proximity who cannot tolerate it react with intensity disproportionate to the actual threat posed. They escalate narratives, exaggerate conflicts, and generate internal chaos in an attempt to recalibrate a world they no longer understand. This is why consistency becomes the ultimate defense. The moment you fluctuate, those observing exploit uncertainty. The moment you waver, they insert themselves into narrative gaps. Stability in presence neutralizes opportunism. Equally important is the recognition of patience as a weapon. Your aura demands time to reveal full effects. Immediate reactions are surface level. Realignment, surrender, and recognition take longer. Those attempting to destabilize will act prematurely, often self-sabotaging. Your energy persists. It is sustained. It is continuous. And the combination of presence, patience, and strategic awareness creates a force that is not combated through aggression, but through equilibrium. You are not participating in their frenzy. You are maintaining your course while allowing the repercussions of your alignment to unfold. And in doing so, you create an environment where truth is visible, influence is undeniable, and boundaries are enforced without confrontation. What happens next is not chaos. It only appears that way to those who do not understand how power matures. You are entering a phase where your presence no longer needs explanation, defense, or translation. People either adjust or they fracture. And the most revealing part is that you don't have to announce anything for this to occur. Your consistency does the work. Your refusal to react does the work. Your ability to remain steady while others scramble exposes the imbalance more clearly than confrontation ever could. This is where intimidation completes its transformation. It stops being emotional and becomes structural. It stops being reactive and becomes permanent. Those who once tried to test you will begin to withdraw, not because they suddenly respect you, but because proximity becomes unbearable. Your calm becomes louder than their tactics. Your restraint becomes heavier than their pressure. They cannot provoke what no longer needs validation. They cannot compete with what refuses comparison. And this is the moment where many realize too late that they miscalculated you. They thought intensity meant volatility. They assumed awareness would make you defensive. They believed patience meant weakness. And now, they are standing in the consequences of those assumptions. You will notice a shift in how people approach you. Conversations shorten, justifications increase. People explain themselves without being asked. They hesitate before speaking. They test the temperature of the room before committing to a stance. This is not because you became harsh. It is because you became grounded. Grounded people are difficult to manipulate. They don't rush. They don't overshare. They don't chase closure. And for those who rely on emotional leverage, this creates discomfort they cannot navigate. This is also where authority becomes unmistakable. Not the loud kind, not the imposed kind. The kind that exists because it cannot be ignored. The kind that alters behavior without instruction. People start checking themselves around you. They think twice. They edit their tone. They adjust their posture. And the most revealing part is that this happens even when you say very little. Presence does not need permission when it is anchored in certainty. The danger others sensed was never about what you would do to them. It was about what they would be forced to see within themselves. And now that the reflection is stable, now that you are no longer negotiating your existence, the reflection sharpens. Some will retreat quietly. Some will attempt one last disruption. Some will pretend nothing ever happened, but all of them will register the same truth. You are not available for control. This is where discernment replaces doubt. You no longer question whether reactions are imagined. You no longer internalize discomfort that does not belong to you. You observe patterns without personalizing them. You understand that hostility is often admiration twisted by insecurity. That dismissal is often fear pretending to be indifference, and that obsession is often inferiority wearing curiosity as a disguise. This clarity is irreversible. Your relationships will continue to reorganize themselves. Some connections will dissolve without conflict. Some will distance themselves naturally, and a smaller, more aligned circle will begin to form. Not louder, not flashier, more precise. These are the individuals who are not threatened by presence because they are cultivating their own. They do not compete with authenticity, they recognize it. They do not resent clarity, they respect it. And this alignment will feel calm rather than intoxicating, stable rather than dramatic. That calm is the marker of genuine resonance. At the same time, those who once thrived on your accessibility will feel the absence sharply. Not because you disappeared, but because you are no longer open to extraction. They will feel the loss of influence, the loss of leverage, the loss of relevance, and this can provoke attempts to reinsert themselves. Sudden kindness, nostalgia, manufactured concern, but you will recognize these for what they are. Attempts to regain access to an energy source that no longer feeds dysfunction. Your role in this phase is not to punish or correct. It is to remain unavailable to regression, to remain consistent, to remain precise. Every time you choose alignment over reaction, you reinforce the authority of your presence. Every time you decline to explain yourself, you strengthen your position. And every time you allow others to sit with their discomfort without rescuing them, you accelerate the recalibration that must occur. This is where many misunderstand power. They believe dominance requires constant assertion. They believe control requires visibility. They believe influence requires persuasion. But the kind of influence you are embodying now is quieter and more permanent. It reshapes behavior rather than demanding it. It alters environments rather than confronting them. And it endures because it is not dependent on performance. You will notice that the frenzy subsides not all at once, but in layers. First comes confusion, then frustration, then distance, and finally, acceptance, not admiration. Acceptance. They accept that you are not bending, that you are not shrinking, that you are not engaging on familiar terms. And once acceptance settles in, the danger dissolves. Because danger only exists where resistance meets instability, you offer neither. This does not mean challenges disappear. It means they change form. Instead of overt opposition, there is quiet recalibration. Instead of confrontation, there is repositioning. And instead of attempts to diminish you, there is an effort to coexist without interference. This is the natural conclusion of sustained presence. You outlast what tries to rush you. You outgrow what tries to trap you. The most important realization in this final stage is that nothing was wasted. Every uncomfortable interaction refined your discernment. Every moment of self-doubt sharpened your awareness. Every attempt to undermine you revealed where boundaries were required. You were not delayed, you were trained, and now the environment must adjust to the version of you that no longer negotiates alignment. You do not need to announce that you have changed. Others will tell the story for you in their behavior, in their hesitation, in their distance, in their sudden respect, and even in their silence when they realize there is nothing left to challenge. Your energy has stabilized at a level that does not fluctuate based on approval or resistance. And that stability is what transforms intimidation into authority. This is the conclusion many never reach. They remain stuck, oscillating between reaction and suppression, between performance and withdrawal. You have crossed into something different, a state where your presence is enough, where your path does not require witnesses to remain valid, where your movement is deliberate rather than defensive. From this point forward, you are not responding to pressure. You are setting pace. You are not navigating hostility. You are outlasting it. And you are not proving worth. You are embodying it. This is why the frenzy fades, not because others change, but because your energy no longer gives them anything to push against. The final truth is simple and unmovable. Your aura was never dangerous because it harmed. It was dangerous because it revealed. And now that you understand how to carry it without apology or explanation, it becomes something else entirely. It becomes structure. It becomes gravity. It becomes the quiet force that shapes outcomes without needing to announce itself. And those who once panicked at your presence will eventually understand what they were responding to all along. Not threat, not competition, but clarity.